So fun to connect with you every week. And to date, we have shared all kinds of ideas to help you find great leads, whether you're looking in your own local area or you want to find leads on the internet. We've spent quite a bit of time on language as well, how to talk to prospects in very elegant but very effective ways so that people get the value of your products, they get the value of your business, they get excited to buy or join your team. Last week, we dove in deep with a whole training on content. And for those of you that are doing anything on Facebook, Instagram, any of the social media sites, you likely know by now just how important good content is. And last week's training was fantastic. So if you've missed any of the replays to date, or any of the sessions rather, we do have the replays available. So when we email you out tomorrow, a follow-up email, we'll make sure we have the link to all of those replays. But we do have to take them down soon, so please do watch those as soon as you can. And then tonight, we are extremely excited to talk a little bit more about advanced social media ideas. And joining me here are all of our lovely mentors. I'm going to introduce them properly in just a moment. Before I do, though, hang on here. I'm just going to find my slides wherever they went. I tell you, get too many windows open. There we go. Okay. And as always, as I share the screen, would you all do me one big favor? Just going to make sure you can get the slides here too, Amy. And just confirm if you can see these slides on your screen. Perfect. Okay. Always love to double check. There we go. So again, this series is entitled Succeed Without Selling, Simple Non-Salesy Strategies to Attract Hundreds of Customers and Team Members. We promise you that is absolutely possible. And if you're here, I'm guessing there's something about this idea that really appeals to you. In fact, let me ask you, those of you that are here live, how many of you absolutely love your products? Like, you know, your products are the best in the market. They're unique. They're game-changing products in many cases. And yet when you talk to people about them, sometimes they just don't get it. And that like rejection is challenging. It's difficult. I see all these yeses. Barbara has no doubt. Yeah. And I mean, think about your business opportunity. It is truly one of the most powerful, unique opportunities in the world. And I don't know if this is true for you, but I know that many of the women, and I would say even men that I've worked with in this space, it's not lack of belief, it's not lack of passion, and it's certainly not the lack of an amazing product line or an amazing opportunity. But I do find that what keeps a lot of people from succeeding at the level that they could is this whole idea of having to be salesy. And depending on what company you're with, or maybe depending on what team you're with, perhaps you've been encouraged to do things that just don't feel really right for you. And I don't know that that's necessarily a fault of your company. I think just generally some of the old sort of traditional sales approaches and techniques that were taught 10, 15 years ago, maybe they worked then, they're just maybe not as relevant now. And so I'm just curious, how many of you here love what you do, but just still feel to some degree a little bit uncomfortable when you have to talk to people, or if you have to reach out to someone, you know, there's always that kind of fear you're going to be rejected, or you just feel a little awkward, you know, when you're bringing up things with your prospects, even though you have belief in what you do. Okay, I see all kinds of yeses. Well, if that is the case, please know you're not alone. I mean, this is truly, I think, the #1 challenge everybody has to work through. And what if you really could be incredibly successful in your business? Whatever money you want to make, it's possible with your business. It just depends on how much time you want to put into it. But truly, there's no limit on the income that you can make in your business. And what if you really could make that and provide an incredible lifestyle for yourself and your family, and do this in a way that wasn't salesy? It actually felt really elegant, and in the process, you could be yourself, you could be authentic with people, you could be comfortable, and you could even create enormous value for all the people that you met along the way. Is that an attractive idea? And if that was possible, would it potentially inspire you even a little bit more here tonight? Do you feel like, oh, Jolynn saying, I would love that. I'm in, says Chris, you bet. All right, I know I'm speaking to the choir. Well, the only reason I keep coming back to that is we want you to know it is possible. It is absolutely possible. And not only is it possible, you know, we're living proof. And I don't want to speak on behalf of the other amazing women here, but I can tell you, for someone who couldn't sell herself out of a paper bag and was terrified to talk to people, you know, I'm kind of amazed that I've made it this far. And when you learn how to influence from the heart, and when you learn how to be effective with certain strategies, especially on social media, there's really no limit to what you can do. And I think we're all living proof. You've had a chance now to meet Jules and Sarah and Naomi and Carla, and Jackie is here tonight. And all of us have not only succeeded, but I believe have really succeeded, because we've all built multiple 6, 7, in some cases, multiple 7-figure businesses in a very elegant way. I know every one of you lovely ladies has created tremendous value for people as you've been sharing your products, as you've been telling people about your business. In fact, Amy tonight has got this approach that has not only generated over $1 million in sales, but has helped charities along the way in some really important and profound ways. So I know every one of us here really stands by this belief that you can be successful. You don't have to be salesy, and you can create a ton of value for people along the way. And it just takes, you know, certain skill sets and certain strategies. And that's what we've been really endeavoring to share here with all of you as well. And I want to take a moment to officially welcome Jackie. Jackie joined in. You're so sweet, Jackie. I know how busy you are, and we realized we wanted to include one more person in this mix. And I've known Jackie now for, I think it's at least 15 years, Jackie Ulmer. And many of you probably know Jackie. She has been very successful in network marketing. She's also a very loved generic trainer and speaker at many different conferences and for many different companies. And she initially started off being one of the very first people to do business online and taught a lot about that. Now her training has evolved into some other things. So Jackie, I'll let you, I'm going to actually open up your screen there. There she is. And yeah, just have you introduce yourself real quick. And we ended up tacking on another training next week. So we just announced this last week. And if you want to come back next week, we're going to do webinar 5. And it's a really important topic because as you're learning all these things, the last thing we want to do is overwhelm you. And Jackie's got this fantastic strategy that will help you actually prioritize how you use your time and make sure that you're putting your energy and focus on the things that matter the most. So I'll let you say hello, Jackie, and thank you again for jumping in. We're so thrilled to include you here. And I know you've got a lot to share too.
Well, thank you, Sonia, and everybody else. And I'm humbled and honored to be here. It's such a great community of leaders and up and coming leaders. And I'm so excited to hear the rest of you over time share your story of what you gleaned from the amazing community and information that's here. I've been a network marketing professional since January of 1994. Yes, 94. Wow. I'm not joking. And I was a skeptic. So if any of you are like, oh, I wasn't sure, I thought that was something you did when you couldn't get a real job, or your family's hating on you and people, you feel like everybody's trash talking you, they're not, they really aren't. But I can totally relate because that's kind of how I was. I had a great career in the airline industry, married a pilot, started a family, and looked around and said, I love being home with my kids, but I still long for business. I just have a passion for business. And it's just marketing. It's intriguing to me. So anyway, stuck my toe in the field of network marketing and literally never ever looked back. In October of 99, I took my business online. Everybody told me I was crazy. It's a belly to belly business. The internet's a fad. It's never going to last, blah, 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 blah. And I'm one of those people that when you tell me I can't do something, I kind of dig my heels in and say, oh, watch me. That's kind of what I did. And I didn't know what I was doing. So many things. I mean, I laugh, like webinar didn't even exist. Zoom didn't exist. Google was just getting started. Anyway, it's been a phenomenal ride. And for 12 years, I never left my home to build my business. I built it all online, built amazing relationships, never was salesy and spammed my family, friends with the hey girl direct messaging or a lot of that stuff that I know all of you are kind of like, show us another way. So yes, I'm super excited next week to be invited to present to all of you a little bit about time and productivity management of that, because you've gotten so much great content here, right? You've learned magic sentences and how to elegantly introduce your business to people. You've learned how to create that introduction. You've learned some great content strategies. And tonight you're going to learn about live events, virtual events, and how all of that can really accelerate your business. And I know some of you are pulling your hair out and thinking, okay, when do I have time to work a full-time job, balance my family, and still do all of these things that you're teaching me to do? So be back here next week, because I'm going to go through, first of all, the mind drama, getting you past all that. And then we're going to talk about really how to set up a calendar for success and how to stop what I call stare, compare, and despair when it comes to that social media. And we're going to ease you right into some time management and productivity skills. So I'm super excited to take notes tonight too. That's what I have to share. And take
Awesome. Awesome. I can't wait for your training next week, Jackie. I'm going to be there taking notes as well. That is so great. Well, tonight, just like before, our goal is that you leave this training with at least one, if not more, great ideas that you can actually go test out and put into action, because we're really big advocates of that. We don't want you to sit here and listen passively. We want you to take away at least one golden nugget that you promise you'll actually go put into action, because if you do, we know your business will change as a result. And just so you know, we've mentioned it a few times now, if you do like us, if you like our approach, if you really want to learn more of these non-salesy strategies, then that is available to you. And it's through an online school that we launched a while ago. It's called the Business Academy for Women in Network Marketing. It's so lovely to have students here and new students here as well. And we do have a few seats left. We had a really amazing opportunity that we launched last week. It's filling up fast and it's going to end on Friday. So we'll tell you a little bit more about it at the very end. And if you still want to jump in and get involved, we'll make sure you get this incredible deal that we put together. But I did want to give just, let me just open up the screen again. Just give Carla a moment to share, and maybe Jules as well, because Amy and I are going to hog the mic through the rest of this presentation. And I know Carla is super excited to work with all of you. She was going to just mention some of the things she'll be sharing in the Academy. I know your POW posts are going to be one of the first things we get you to share, Carla, which is amazing. So yeah, do you have any words of encouragement or anything you want to share here just before we jump in?
I just want to just say hello, everybody, and welcome back again. It's great to see you. Welcome to the group. Jackie, it is fabulous to have you on board. And I am two things. I was just in the Business Academy for Women, and I am so excited to see the excitement, people getting things done, people getting results, because that's what we're here for. And if you are here for the first time and want to hear about that, stick on to the end. Not only do we have great, fabulous content that Amy and Sonia are going to share with us today, but we still have a great offer for you that absolutely everyone that's listening to anyone's voice should be taking advantage of before all the bad things that happen about when we say sales, like the time runs out, you miss the opportunity, all that stuff. Take action now, and we'll see you inside. And thanks for all the great comments.
You're welcome, Carla. Thank you for being part of this. I know people are really excited to learn from you. And Jules, you too. Your training ideas are just stellar. So I don't know which one we're going to pick first to have you share in the Academy, but if you have any words of encouragement, or if there's any like particular idea you're really excited to share, go ahead and let us know too, if you would.
Yeah, well, like Carla, I just want to say I'm so honored to be part of this, and it's been so much fun so far. I think the community part of it is like even more special, and plus all the little nuggets and ideas and the synergy that we get from being together. So I'm excited about this whole Academy. And those of you that missed the very first webinar, go back and listen to the replay. I shared my 5 steps in a wheel to drive your business like a red Ferrari. And I'm going to be teaching a lot more in detail of some of those things in the Academy too, but make sure you listen to the replay if you missed it. And I just have a lot of fun things that I like to teach on mindset and making analogies to things. I have a fun training on what am I doing wrong, which everybody always loves because everybody's like, what's What am I doing wrong? Anyway, so there's just a lot of stuff. Those of you that know, I have a Broadway background. I like to teach about from Broadway to business and how similar some of those concepts are about success that carry over to a profession like network marketing, and just a lot of stuff that I'm excited to share. So thanks for having me, and we hope you decide to join us.
Awesome. And Jules is brilliant at follow-up. If you caught that first training, she just had a very small amount of time to talk about her follow-up system, but I think that might be one of the first things we have you go deep on, Jules, because that script you have and everything is just genius. It's so good. And it works. I mean, I think Jules has more people actually call her back and ask her how can they get started than anybody I know. So whatever you do, it works very well. It's
Lovingly relentless.
yeah. Yes, it's awesome though. And you're elegant and you're persistent and it works. All right. So just to quickly review, just to provide some context, because I know we're talking about a lot of different ideas on these webinars, but truly, if you boil it all down, if you want to grow your business to 6 figures or beyond, whatever your personal goal is, maybe you just want part-time income, that's fine too. But this process is basically what everybody goes through. So if you follow along, obviously before you can do anything, you have to find the right leads. You need prospects. And although you can start off by talking to your friends or your family members or your coworkers, at some point you're going to have to get out and find new people to talk to. And what we do in the Academy and what we've been trying to do through this series is not just help you find any old leads, but truly to get super clear on who your perfect prospects are. Because when you know who those people are, one, it's easier to find them, but also these are the people that on some level are already looking for your product and your business. These are the people that are most likely to say yes. So think about that for a moment. Imagine if in the coming weeks, most of the people that you actually connected with, either on Facebook or Instagram, or maybe even in your local neighborhood, were already pretty likely to say yes. Like, how much more excited would you be to actually go out and prospect? Because I know for me, it really changed how I felt about the whole process. And that's one of the things we definitely want to work on with you and help you accomplish. Once you know who those people are and you can get in front of them, the next big step is language. And so in the earlier sessions, we talked a lot about those elegant magic words, and Carla had her amazing little juicy intro that she shared. But there's definitely a non-salesy way that you can share your products and your opportunity. That it just makes it easy for people to get it. And again, when you do this well, we had students like see a boost in their sales like 40 to 60% in a month. So imagine what that's like. Not only are you already talking to people who are more likely to say yes, but then you're using this language that pretty much guarantees that you're going to get a sale or a customer or a business partner. And I don't know about you, but when that started happening to me, the thing I was concerned about next is, how do I get in front of more people? And that's really what the whole leverage piece is. Once you have the right leads and you know what to say to get people excited to buy, you also are going to want to get in front of as many of those people as possible with that message. And that's what leverage is about. And that's really what we're going to talk about here tonight. Leverage is all about working less and getting better results. If you can put yourself in front of a group or create a virtual presentation or a virtual class or use Facebook Live video, like we're going to talk about tonight, it's one action that can produce multiple customers at a time, or it's one action that can produce multiple team members at a time. And that is when your business really accelerates and really ignites. And I'm guessing here, but I'm sure I'm pretty accurate. I would say for most of the, if not all the mentors here, that's what took all of our businesses over the edge, multiple 6, 7 figures, even multiple 7 figures. It's when we got this leverage piece filled out. And it's really incredible these days with Facebook and social media tools and virtual presentations. I mean, the opportunity we have to reach lots of people with a really compelling message. We've just never had that before. And it's not that difficult to figure out. You just need a little bit of strategy. And before you know it, you'll be there. So that's really what we're going to cover today. I just want to jump right in because I know Amy's got a great presentation, but just keep that in mind. Leverage is all about getting better results with less effort. And the best way to leverage yourself is through group presentations, virtual classes or virtual presentations, and just really mastering social media. And when you do that elegantly, my gosh, there's just no end to the numbers of people that you can bring into your business. It's incredible. So with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to the lovely Amy Sebastian Christ, who has her own slide deck. And I'm going to let you take it from there. Thank you.
All right. Of course, I have 2 slide decks open. That's amazing. Let's see. I will share that screen and ready to roll. Can you guys see my screen? Yes? Yeah? Okay, good. I was like, shoot, where did
No, we're good.
It's time to go. Okay. All right. It's pretty incredible that you all have these businesses that are creating impact in your life every single day and for the people that are using your products. But what I'm really passionate about is leveraging that business, not only to make an impact for the people that are using it, but also to the impact in your community through charitable organizations and giving. And one way to do that is through virtual events. I call these partying for a purpose. It doesn't have to be a physical party. It can be, but it can also be a simple share of a link and you're generating impact. So I'm going to talk through that entire process tonight. And when I say entire, I mean, I'm gleaning over it because I only have about 20 minutes or so. But then in the Academy, we will talk in detail about all these things. And tonight, Sonia is going to be sharing about live video in these types of events and in your groups and how to do live video. So those are the things we're going to cover today. So the 3 things you need to think about are PPI. And if we just take a step back, what would it mean to you in your business if you could have impact every single day throughout something in your community, something that's near and dear to your heart? Would that make a difference to you in your life and your business? Raise of hands, those I can see, right? If you're doing your business and then creating more impact, that ripple effect. So thousands of women just like you, and men, if there's some men here, are doing that every single day. So you first need to look at the PPI though, and ask yourself, what is something that's near and dear to you? What is your passion? Is it animals? Is it the ocean? Is it children? Maybe a local hospital, American Cancer Society, UNICEF. What is something that you are passionate about? And when you step back and you think about a sense of purpose and who you are in your life, finding your purpose, it's more than something that's cliche. It actually leads to a better life. And I have this quote here. It was a 2016 study published in the Journal of Research and Personality, found that individuals who feel a sense of purpose make more money than individuals who feel as though their work has less meaning. So when you have that passion, not only for your product and your business, but also that passion for what drives you outside of that in your life, that attaches more purpose and meaning to what you're doing. And then comes the impact. And that impact is truly a ripple effect because you're affecting the people that are purchasing from you, right? And they're enjoying your product and that's helping them in their lives. But yet you then are turning around and making a donation to a charity that's near and dear to your heart, whether it's something that is global, or it's in your community. And look, I've been chatty, and I didn't go through all those. So we've got passion, purpose, impact. Usually I'm not good at doing both things at once here. So here we go. Okay. So you've got your passion, you illuminate your purpose, you shine a light on what it is, that purpose in your life, and then that meaningful impact, and that's that ripple effect. So that leads you to looking at maybe a global impact. So for example, if you're sitting there thinking like, oh, I don't know, Amy, and this is something that's going to take a little bit of reflection up front. If you're not maybe already donating annually to any charities or churches or any schools, any organizations at all, I put some up here that are near and dear to my heart, and maybe they resonate with you. Girls Inc., American Cancer Society, UNICEF, the Humane Society of the United States, Doctors Without Borders, International Rescue Committee, and Save the Children. Does anybody have any thoughts on any of those? Does anyone know, like maybe you're already donating to them? And I'm looking for the comments and I can't see them.
I've got them here. I'll just jump in.
Okay, good.
Joyce, Jody Lynn is all about children. Carrie, women, especially stay-at-home moms. Carrie, that's just amazing. Daphne's freeing families financially. Beautiful.
I
Margaret,
found-
Hungry Children. So many of you, St. Jude's, Pastoria, that's
Oh,
one of
yeah,
my favorite.
perfect. Okay.
Yeah. And it could also be, am I right? It could be a local organization, right?
Well, funny
Ready-
that you mentioned that. Yes. So let me go back. So when I exit, it's so interesting. I can't see the comments, but let me go back into my, it's my view mode. There we go. Now I think we're kind of in there. So community impact as well. This is actually, it's a personal story of mine. And this is, when I first even realized what this could do. This is the fundraiser that raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for this woman who happens to be my best friend, who was dead. She was oh my gosh, I get upset still,
Aw.
but she we thought we were going to lose her because they told us that she had a brain tumor the size of a tennis ball behind her left eye. So she's up in Seattle. I'm down in San Diego. But long story short, I rallied a community of women that owned their own businesses to create a fundraiser that was nationwide to donate to the University of Washington to the fund for Debbie and for research. And I'm now to say almost 10 years later, Debbie is thriving. Her children are grown and she's doing incredible. And I know a lot of it has to do with the money that we raised for the University of Washington and the research there for the trials for Debbie. So this was a community thing. This was near and dear to my heart. And I'm going to talk in a minute about the 6 things that you need. And this is one of the components of that. So as we move here, before we get there, I'm seeing lots of comments. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Breast cancer survivors, all those things. That's great, great research, great brainstorming. So when you talk about determining your donation, I always like to think about percentage of the sales versus percentage of the profit. Many of you, I don't know what your comp plans are within your businesses, but you might only make, not only, but your 20% of what you're selling is what you're taking home, right? So that, or 30%, depending upon where you are in your structure, maybe it's 10%, I don't know. And neither do the people that you're having a conversation with. So a tip here is saying a percentage of sales. So I would always say 50% of the proceeds of this evening are going to University of Washington. So, and you can determine that is an individual basis for you. And a lot of times when you're partnering with another host, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, you can determine what is comfortable. So percentage of sales versus percentage of the profit, because they don't know what you're making. They don't know that you're not making $100 of the $100 sale that you just had, or $50 or $30. But maybe you're only making 20%. But if you're giving 50%, that's 50% of the sales. And that just sounds a heck of a lot better than saying, 10% or 20%. And also keeping in mind that these organizations, many of them are tax deductible. So you do get that benefit on the back end. I am not a CPA, nor have I ever played one on TV. So please connect with your tax professional for more information on that. Okay. All right. So let's get into the 6 components for a successful fundraising event. And when I use the word event here, we are going to be talking about a Facebook group, but I don't want that to stop anyone or shock anyone from using this strategy of, doing good, being good, sharing good for other events or other sales that they might do. It could be something that you're doing overall, but tonight we're going to talk about an actual event and the 6 components: a passionate host, partnership between both of you, the specialized Facebook groups, making it personal and establishing a goal. And then you're going to celebrate that. So here we go. And I again have to hop off here and do this because my chat gets in the way. Maybe it's my Mac, I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. So having a passionate host. First off, brainstorm anyone in your circle of influence. I also like to call this the 3-foot rule. Who do you know within 3 feet of you? And can you think off the top of your head, do you know about a charity that they're already passionate about? So put them on your list for someone you might want to reach out to. Second, leverage Facebook lists. So if we talked about lists last week already?
Yeah.
I think last week. And
Yeah.
we have a great training on that in the Academy as well, if you don't know what we're talking about. But when you leverage Facebook lists, you can easily communicate with everybody that you're friends with in certain areas of life. So for instance, I have my sorority sister list from college. So I would click on that real quickly and I would scan that and I communicate with that daily. And I look for people that are talking about a cause that's near and dear to their heart. I would add them to my list to reach out to. And then of course, asking for referrals. And that's going to come with your circle of influence, people that you already know that you do business with. Who do you know that has a cause that's near and dear to their heart? That's a phrase I always use. Words that work are magic words. Those were mine. Second, the partnership between the network marketer and the host is crucial. This is a group event and you are partnering with her. She is your wing woman or wing man. And the participation and interaction when you're doing groups is absolutely crucial. So you need to, first and foremost, explain that to the host, that you're just not saying yes and we're creating a group on Facebook and then you're just setting up a bunch of posts. It's a very interactive and fun thing that they participate in, and explain to them the social CPR method. And that's that commenting, posting, and replying. I talked about that last week. It's just an easy, simple way to remind people to perform CPR within their group so that you can make sure that you're raising as many funds as possible for their charity of choice. And thirdly, sharing the story is really important. So for example, the one that I showed you with the Go Gray in May, you saw that image, let's do this one for Deb. And there was pictures of her and her family. And there was a story attached to that. So the host, or if you do this for your first time as yourself, and you're going to talk about the story on a live video, and sharing the components in there. And this really just makes everyone super connected to what the cause is and what's happening within the event. And then you're going to designate times to go live inside the group. And you can base those times, and we can talk about this more inside the Academy, but based on times on the time zone is important, the day of the week is important, who you're marketing to is important, all those fun things. So, but you want to talk with your host and pre-plan that and make sure that you're not designated times when they're, at work or at a soccer game. You want to make sure that they're available. Okay. So I know it's a lot of information, but I promise we go into detail on all this stuff inside the Academy, but just stick with me here. Okay, number 3, the specialized Facebook group is really important. It's going to be specific to the charity. It's something that you and the host can co-create together. And then the host invites her friends and connections and has her friends and do the same. So this is where that ripple effect can really occur within your business, because now all of a sudden people, first, they're maybe have never hosted an event before like this ever, but because of the charity that's near and dear to their heart and the ability to raise funds they're interested in it. And now they're more apt to invite their friends because their friends are also really excited about the opportunity to purchase something. And then something is also going back to that charity. And so once this group is established, the thing I love the most about it is that you can go back every single year and throughout the year and do quarterly charities if you wanted to do that with your host, definitely annual. And it's something that grows over time. So you don't have to re-invite. So specializing Facebook groups, super important. Number 4, making it personal. Again, sharing the why, the host's passion, why you're doing this, and posting images that connect to the why. So emotional heart tug, I definitely picked up my wrong one. I had them both open. I had corrected that. I'm sorry, but emotional heart tugs. Why you're doing that, images from the charity. If it's a national organization, there's so many stories of how that organization does good for that specific charity. So sharing statistics and stories and images, sharing that in live videos, also really important. And also including the donate link to the organization whenever possible, not just the link to shop from your personal website, adds more credibility to what you're doing. And people will maybe just want to donate there as well. And at the end of the day, we are doing good for that charity. So including that whenever possible is really important. Establishing a goal. So discussing with the host ahead of time is really important about what you're thinking of raising. You might be thinking $1,000. She might be thinking $100. So, or maybe it's the other way around. So establishing a goal, discussing that with the host, and then you share that with the community. You share that within the group. And that's one of the posts that you do. And you share these updates often. And it's kind of a fun countdown and everybody's celebrating. Everyone who doesn't want to be a part of something celebratory like that. And a lot of times it's really fun to maybe throw in some raffles and ideas like that as well, so that you can have an end goal. People are buying into it. So everybody that purchases during a certain amount of time, they're put in a raffle for XYZ. Could be something. And so you're sharing updates along the lines with that. And of course, every post inside that group includes a link to shop the product or service that you're offering. And I am always getting ahead of myself, but at the end, you're going to celebrate, you're going to tag, you're going to thank people as they purchase in the group. The more people see that, the more likely they are to purchase. You're counting down towards that goal, the giveaways for participation. And then of course, there's the final donation total and the thank yous. And that can be personal messages through Facebook, through Messenger, personal follow-up. A lot of times you have their addresses and you can write a personal thank you note and drop that in the mail to them as well. And then you can also go to follow-up using Jules' amazing follow-up system and invite them to host their own fundraising event. And that's also where the magic lies, because oftentimes when people decide to party for a purpose and come into one of these Facebook groups, they don't necessarily have ever done it before, but the charitable component drew them in. And so inviting them to do their own fundraiser for a cause that's near and dear to their heart is something that they might want to say yes to. So when you first identify your passion and then create that purpose, you will definitely be having much more impact, not only in your business and in your bottom line, but it's that ripple effect within your community and even globally. And that is why I think that partying for a purpose is absolutely one of the best things that you could bring into your business. And I hope you want to learn more about it by joining us in the Academy.
Wow, Amy, this is genius. This is so smart. Like, I'm just thinking already. Let me actually, do you mind taking the slides down there and I'll
stop. I lost my, hold on.
There you go.
My mouse is crazy.
There we go.
There we go. Hi. Okay.
No, I was just like, my brain is exploding because I'm thinking of students in the academy. And for those of you considering joining, we'll take you through this process too. Like Lisa is with a healthy pet food company. They have awesome products. And she knows her ideal prospects, her perfect prospects that we talked about are pet owners, right? And certain kinds of pet owners. And so because she knows who those people are, as we work together, it hasn't been that hard to find Facebook groups where there's hundreds and sometimes thousands of pet owners, right, in the groups. And so she goes in and friends those people and gets to know them, like we all encourage you to do. But I'm just thinking, like, she, like so many of the students, could approach any one of those pet owners and say, hey, you love dogs, I love dogs. I have a way for us to raise money for our local SPCA. It's really simple and easy. If you're willing to invite a few friends, we can put together this online presentation, this online party, right? And, set a goal, like you said, raise $1,000 or raise $2,000. And just think about that, everybody. Like, if someone you don't know that well approaches you and says, hey, I got this great product, do you want to check it out and buy some? I mean, even though you have a great product, it just sometimes feels like it's too soon, right? It's like, I don't know you, and I don't know if I really want to buy anything from you yet. But if someone was to approach you and say, hey, you and I have this common interest around pets or single moms or whatever it is, right? And I have a way that we could work together and raise some money really quickly to support this charity. Would you be willing to help me with this? And here's all you have to do, right? All they have to do is help you. I mean, you even set up the group, I assume. Is that right, Amy?
Oh, yeah.
And then they invite the people in?
Exactly. I mean, they just invite their friends and you do all the, you do all the rest. Obviously, going live, the more participation you can have from your host, the better. So I always try and find those people, but of course, and it can be as simple as raising funds for like the local Little League team. I did it for my kids' sporting teams that we were trying to raise money. I mean, it's really, the possibilities are endless. It can be something super close to you, or something global, like you mentioned.
Well, there's so many applications. Like, I'm thinking of Jennifer. Jennifer sells beauty and skincare products and makeup. She's brilliant. Her perfect prospects are moms around her age. She's found hundreds of moms in groups, right? And now she's like connecting and getting them into conversations and trying to warm up that relationship. And she could approach them with the same kind of offer, right? Hey, what if you and I were to put together a little event and we could raise money to help the local single moms in our community, right? Like, if you picked a charity that would really fit with, what you're passionate about, maybe what your prospects are passionate about, right? It would be pretty easy for those people to say yes. And I could see them being even more incentivized to reach out to their group, bring them their contacts, rather bring them into your private group, right? Your party place, and encourage people to get involved. Like, it's just such a no-brainer way to get people to say yes to some level of exposure to your products, knowing that they're not just helping you, but they're helping this bigger cause. I've seen people do this effectively. I've never seen it done quite in this way. So I just know how powerful this is. And to me, what better way to grow your business is supporting all these people in the process. And then, like you said, go back, do 2 events a year, right? If they did it once, they might do it again in 6 months. You've got repeat business. Yeah, it's just amazing. Absolutely brilliant.
And it feels good. It feels good to give back at the end of the day. So.
Yes, super brilliant. Well, I know you didn't have nearly enough time to do that justice, but we totally.
And I don't know. I'm sorry. I talked
No.
fast.
We totally. No, I just know there's so much more that you want to share that we wouldn't have time for today. But that strategy is one of the best things I've ever heard. And I'm even more excited now to talk about live video, because if you could go live in this group, my gosh, the reach you could get, the exposure, the additional sales you could generate from live video is just a no-brainer. So thank you, Amy. That's incredible. Yeah, truly one of the most inspiring sales strategies I think I've ever seen in network marketing. It's just brilliant. Okay, real quick, I know we're quarter to the hour, and this is likely going to take about 20 minutes to get through. Let me check in with our audience. You guys cool? You cool to go another 20 minutes, and then we'll just give you a quick update on the opportunity with the Academy, and then we've got time to answer questions at the end. All right, I knew it. You guys are hardcore. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's just a lot I want to share on this subject too, so we're going to jump in real quick. So, live video. Let me check in with the audience. How many of you here know about live video? Maybe you even tried a live video at one point. Maybe you haven't done any live video. Basically, you like the idea, but the actual doing of the live video is kind of terrifying. And just know, if you say yes, you are in very good company, because I would bet everybody here felt that way, at least at the beginning, if not still do. Yes, I get it. I get it. So just know that I totally empathize with you. In fact, it took me a long time to actually summon up the courage to do live video. And now that I've done it and have seen what it's done for my business, I only wish I'd done it sooner. So through this little presentation, I really hope to inspire you to test this out and give it a go, because truly, if you're online and you add live video of any kind to this, it can 10x your results very quickly. So most of you know by now, Facebook Live, it's just a little app, right, that downloads right into your phone, and you can do it off your computer as well. It allows you to stream live video to your contacts on Facebook. So if you're going live, say in a group like the Party with a Purpose group that Amy was mentioning, the people in that group will get to see that video. And if you're going live through your profile, then whatever friends you've got connected to your profile will get to see that live video. Or you can even select lists, like Amy's been talking about using lists. You can actually create a video just for certain people on your list and go live that way. But it's a powerful tool to get seen on Facebook. And this is why it's so important. As you know, social media is growing rapidly. I think the last time I checked, there were at least 2.9 billion people on Facebook, if not more. This is growing in leaps and bounds. So what's so incredibly impressive about social media is literally when you're right in front of your computer, I hope you really appreciate that. Like with just a couple keystrokes, you could potentially meet people anywhere in the world. You know, like 2.9 billion people are sitting in front of you in some form or another through that Facebook portal. So there's no shortage of contacts. We certainly don't need that many prospects, right? But there really is that kind of potential to reach out and connect with people. The problem these days with social media, and Facebook is probably most guilty of this, is that there are so many people on Facebook every day who are posting content that think of this being like a garden hose, right? Or if you look at this image, it's kind of more like a wine bottle, I guess. And imagine if even a third of those people were actually active and they put up just one post. Like that's, you know, almost 1 billion pieces of content in a day. And they're all fighting to get through, you know, the bandwidth of the Facebook portal, right? There's, how would I describe it? It's almost like a pipeline, you know, imagine the biggest server in the world and Facebook is on it and it's got this massive pipeline that is there to serve up content, but there's so much content fighting for visibility within that pipeline that it can be really challenging to be seen by your contacts on Facebook. So if you have a few hundred friends or a few thousand friends, you probably know when you put up a post, only a small portion of those contacts actually get to see that post. And that's why if Facebook had to show every single piece of content to everybody's connections, it would blow up. It just can't do it. It can't handle it. As complex and sophisticated of a platform that it is, it can only share so much content at a time. It can only put out so many of those posts at a time. And so, as you probably know, it has an algorithm. It has a way that it gauges what content is popular content. If they notice that someone's liking a post or commenting on a post or sharing a post, basically Facebook considers that popular content. People like this, so we're going to show this post to more people. And they also favor different formats of content. So if you remember back in the early days when we first got on social media, and especially with Twitter, that was probably the most common example, we usually just put up content in the form of text, right? We type a few sentences. And if you still use text posts, they sometimes can be effective, but they typically do not get shown as much on Facebook as other forms of content. The next most popular piece of content would be if you put an image or a photo up, and then you added some text underneath it. And you probably know that. You've probably been encouraged to add a photo or put up some kind of image when you put up a post, because when people see the photo, it just tends to get more response. And Facebook favors this kind of content over just purely text posts. And then the next most form of content that came along is video. So back in the day, it wasn't really that long ago, but a few years ago, we used to be able to just film a video if you had a little iPhone or a mobile phone handy, you could record a video and then load that recorded video up into Facebook. And that format would generally get 1,200% more engagement than any of the other forms of content. And it's simply because, if you think about it, when we see video, we tend to pay attention. We watch television, we watch movies. We're very conditioned to respond to visual images and film. And so if you see some text posts go by on Facebook, or maybe even some photos with some text added, you might pay attention, but we typically always look at the video. It might only be for a few seconds, but we're trained because of television to pay attention to video. So for the longest time, if you wanted to be seen on Facebook, you needed to record a video every once in a while and put it out on the feed. And if you did, that content would generally be seen by a lot of people. It got a lot of visibility. And think about it, every time people see your content, basically that can equate to more prospects, more customers, and even more team members, right? It's all about being seen within the Facebook platform. And then along came live video. And this was just a few years ago when it really started to take off. But just by going live, and it's bizarre because if you were to record a video on your phone and save it and load it up, it's not quite the same as if you go live. It's the same format. I mean, basically you push the same kind of buttons and you say the kind of same things into the camera, but the actual live stream is what Facebook favors. And there's reasons for that we'll go into another time. But just by pushing that live video button, your content will instantly get 6 times more exposure in the newsfeed. So without really having to do anything, suddenly you're dominating the newsfeed. The content you're putting out is being seen by not only a higher majority of your friends or your contacts, but it can also go public too. So that's why people started to pay more attention to Facebook Live. It's like, okay, maybe I feel a bit nervous about putting myself on camera, but if I'm willing to do it, wow, suddenly my content is being seen by all these additional people. And I wasn't sure I believed this, to be honest, when I first did this. So these numbers are from a few years ago. To be honest, they wouldn't be quite this exaggerated today because many more people are using Facebook Live today. But just to give you an idea, a couple years ago when I tested this, I was not thrilled about doing live video. I'm a pretty introverted person, believe it or not. And I was just really intimidated. But I thought, okay, I'm going to test this and see if this is actually true. So I put up a post that had a photo image in it and some text. And I think at that time I was talking about an event that I was going to put on. And so I wrote up some sentences about the event and I put a picture of the hotel where we were hosting the event. And then I thought, okay, what if I did the same thing? What if I went live and talked about this? Like basically it's the same kind of message, but instead of reading about the event and seeing the picture, what if people saw me on video just telling them about the event? Would it make much difference? So basically this is the 2 forms of content that I use. There was a post with an image and a text, and then pretty much the identical message, but it was done with Facebook Live. Look at the difference though in what happened. So the post reached about 1,541 people. This is on my page, so I had a bigger following on the page. It got 23 likes and 5 comments. So not a huge reach, but not too bad. It was only up for a few hours. But within the same time, when I did the Facebook Live video, look at this. We reached 128,000 people, more than that, 484 likes, 552 comments with the exact same message, but it was only delivered through a Facebook Live video. So when I saw that, I realized, wow, there really is something to this. If I could be brave enough to just do 1 video a week, I could be seen and connect with so many more people than, potentially all the other kinds of content that I'm putting out during the week. So I wanted to test it again because I thought, okay, does it really make a difference in the video format? Like they say that it has to be live video. What if I recorded a video and did it? Would it really make the difference? So I had this video that I'd recorded and I loaded it up into the Facebook feed. And so that would be called like a native video because it was pre-recorded. I recorded it, I stopped the recording, I loaded up the file, and then I posted it in the feed. And just to see if it was actually the live stream that made the difference, I did something kind of sneaky. I don't know if you can see this, but I went on YouTube and I had that video on my YouTube channel. And so I took my camera like this and I hit the live button and I went live and I played the video. So it was the exact same video, But the second time I was like filming it through my camera. So it was playing on YouTube. It was like a pre-recorded video. And then I went live and I just let the live feed capture that exact same video because I was curious to see what the difference would be. So I hope that makes sense. One was like a pre-recorded video that I put up on YouTube, and I actually loaded it into Facebook too and just put it out that way. And then I played that same video and I just filmed it with my camera as a live stream. And look what happened. The recorded video in 5 days got 997 views, the exact same video, like it was the exact same video verbatim. But the only thing that was different is I live streamed it as it was playing. So it went out as a live stream on Facebook. In 5 hours, we had 10,000 views and reached 1.2 million people. So that convinced me. I was like, okay, I get it. Facebook Live is the way to go. Even though I'm not excited about this, even though I'm intimidated, I get the power of this. And it truly does give you just an enormous advantage. And here's why. When you put out just one live video a week, what happens is, and if you haven't learned more about this, we'll teach you a lot about this in the Academy. You probably know that depending on the kinds of content that you put out in any given week, the overall level of engagement that you get, like the number of people who like your content or comment or share your comment, overall, Facebook starts to assign you a score, an engagement score. And if you get more and more engagement, then your score goes up, and Facebook gives you like priority placement in the newsfeed. Now, why is that important? It's important because the higher your score, the more people get to know you, get to meet you, get to friend you. You sort of kind of skip the line a little bit. And it's like going into the VIP section on Facebook. So you always want to get your score up as much as you can. And when we were testing this with the students, when we first launched the Academy, we noticed that if the students went live just once a week, everything else was kind of normal. They put up their same kind of posts and photos and things like that. But just one video a week, it turbocharged their engagement score, and all the other content that they put out got more reach. Meaning that if, let's say on Tuesday, they did a 3-minute live video, Wednesday and Thursday, those posts would get further reach in the feed. They'd be seen by more people. They'd be likely to get more comments and more shares. And so basically they didn't have to work as hard to get even better results on Facebook. Let me just pause. Does that make sense to you? I know we've got people here who are pretty familiar with this and others that might be learning about it, but do you get kind of the basic fundamental principle of this? Because it really changes your opportunity in social media when you use even one live video a week. If you can do a couple live videos, it's generally even better. Let me just check the comments here. Oops, hang on. I've got my comments hiding at the bottom. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, so you get this. And here's the thing. How many of you here are camera shy like me? Like you know that live video is important, but you either put it off or you find that you just can't come up with ideas to do it, and you're just not being consistent. Is anyone here terrified? Tony, thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. Well, here's how you can cheat. And this isn't the ultimate solution, but in the Academy, when we did a whole 30-day challenge on Facebook Live, and if you join us, we're going to do this again, I think maybe in the summer. And it's a great way to ease into doing live video where you can still get all the brownie points, you can still get all the rewards, but you don't have to be on camera. So some of the students, what we had them do is we would get them to go live and take video of other things. So if they were at the park with their kids, they do a short 3-minute video just talking about being in the park and how nice it was to be outside and playing with the kids, or they were down at the beach and the sun was setting, they'd do a quick video and just kind of comment on it as the sun was going down. If they were out hiking, they could do a really gorgeous video of the scenery. So it doesn't have to be you on camera, at least at the beginning. If you're just going live, Facebook will give you lots of brownie points for that. So that's one of the ways to kind of cheat and ease your way into this. And in the Academy, we had students who were just not comfortable being on live video, but they eased into this. And after a few weeks of doing lives this way, then we had them turn the camera and just start doing a really easy live personal update, right? Nothing salesy, nothing business oriented, just something real simple. And that just led to the next step and the next step. And I know we've got some students here, I'm looking in the chat roll, who've just been crushing it on live video, who originally started off quite terrified. So it really is possible to ease your way in, and Facebook will reward you with that visibility and that higher score, even if it's not you on camera. Eventually you want to be on camera because you want people to get to see you and know you. And, imagine then if you're like using Amy's Party with a Purpose approach and you're in a group, if you put up a post with, a link to the product and encourage people to buy, some of the people might see that. If you went live on video and basically did the same thing and encouraged them, I bet almost everybody in the group would see that video, and they would likely watch it and respond, because people respond more to those actual live presentations versus just a text post. So you can start using live video everywhere to not only kind of supercharge your engagement score, but potentially get people to pay more attention when you are talking about your products or when you are talking about your business. Using live video is such an important tool when you're trying to get attention. And with that, though, you don't necessarily want to go live and just do a big fat commercial, right? Remember last week, Sarah had that really awesome formula, the 10-4-1 formula, where of all the posts that she put out in a week, only one of them was what she called kind of a direct post, right? Where she'd actually name her product or she actually talk about her business. And that's a pretty good ratio. A lot of times when you're putting up videos, you can use videos about yourself. You can talk about your kids. You can use videos to get people curious about your business. You could film a conference that you're at and just let everyone know what a good time you're having. Like, there's so many creative ways to get on live video without being direct, without being salesy, and you can still in many ways get attention for your products and your business. And there's this one thing that I teach in the Academy. We'll definitely do this when we do the challenge again. It's my favorite thing ever to teach, because it allows you to sell products without ever mentioning your products by name. And it's a specific kind of live video. I call it a sell by teaching video. And here's what it looks like. You're probably wondering, well, okay, if I don't mention the product or I don't mention the product by name, how are people going to actually know to buy it from me? Well, what you do is you don't sell people on the product, you sell people on the benefit of the product. You help them see the kind of result they get by using a product like this, or you help them see that these kinds of products create these kinds of experiences. And when people start to see the value of the product, they can't help but get more interested in what the product is. And because you're not actually naming the product, you will find people get a little more curious and they're more likely to actually ask you. So let me show you a concrete example. So some of you might have weight loss products or nutrition products. And one of the most popular products that I think really are amazing are protein shakes, right? So, if you were to create a video to get people interested in using your protein shake, maybe that's a really simple first step for them to take, so that they get using your shake and then they start looking at your whole weight loss system. And then before you know it, they're buying all your other products. But sometimes just starting with a really simple first step like that is great. And if you were going to do a live video, you wouldn't want to come on, I'm just going to make, if you can see me here, like, you wouldn't want to put up your shake, right? And go, we have an amazing shake and it's got all these nutrients in it and it's fantastic. And if you buy it now, you'll get a discount. Like, if you do a live video like that, it's going to sound like an ad and people will just tune it out. But what you can do is talk about why people use protein shakes and maybe, really help them appreciate the benefits of using a protein shake. So we had a student go live and she did something like this, and she started off her video by saying, hey, everybody, thanks for watching. And, as you know, I'm really passionate about helping people eat right and stay fit. And if you're someone who wants to drop a few pounds in the next few months without starving yourself, I want to really encourage you to add a protein shake into your daily diet. And here's why they're great. And then she would list all the reasons they're great. It's like, in the morning, they're quick and easy, they're nutritious. Oftentimes they're low in calories. And instead of like reaching for a donut or a bagel when you're grabbing a coffee at Starbucks, you can actually eat something really healthy for yourself and it'll keep you full through till the afternoon. So that's the magic question. And I really encourage you to jot that down, because if you're going to come up with a live video for your product, that's what you want to answer is why. Why do people love this? Why do they use these kinds of products, or why do they love these kinds of products? And when you really talk about the benefits without necessarily naming your product, necessarily showing the product or, showing the logo or the brand name, you're just educating people. Basically, you're teaching why these kinds of things are really helpful for people. And you can even take it a step further and maybe encourage people to look for certain things. So for example, There are lots of protein shakes out there. And if you have some in your company, you probably know that your shakes are better than a lot of shakes that you buy off the shelf, right? Because some shakes have got a lot of sugar, some shakes have a lot of additives and other ingredients. And so you might also encourage people, hey, if you're going to look for a great shake, be careful that it doesn't have any of these ingredients, right? And name the things that they should avoid. And if your shake is like, a really great source of protein and it's healthy and natural, maybe you want to encourage people like look for a shake that's got these ingredients instead. So again, you're not pushing your shake in particular. You're not trying to sell that exact product, but you're really educating people who want to lose weight, who want to be healthy, why just adding a simple shake to your diet every day could really make a big difference in all these ways. And what happens oftentimes, if people actually watch the video, at the end, they're like, wow, she's right. Maybe I should start adding a protein shake to my day. And because you didn't sell the audience, because you weren't being salesy and pushy, but you were really educating them, what you can often do at the end is just gently encourage people to reach out. Hey, if you'd love more help finding a good shake, I've done a lot of research. I'd be happy to share some of the ones that I recommend. But until then, I really encourage you to add a shake to your diet. And I know you'll be healthier and feel better this week if you do. Like just a very gentle call to action. But if you're basically sharing that kind of value in a video and really doing your best to educate people and just help them see the benefit of a particular action, very often at the end, they'll comment on your video and say, well, I'd love to hear more. What shakes do you recommend, right? And many of the students that I've taught this to end up with great sales after doing these videos, but they're very elegant. They're beneficial. People watch them and learn great things. And even if they don't buy from you in that moment, they're more likely to watch your next video because they know that you provide really good value, right? You provide helpful tips and ideas, and they're more likely to watch the next one and of course, potentially buy then. So you can do that with all kinds of products. Here's another quick example. If you sell skincare, obviously I can't talk either today, Amy, sunscreen is a great thing to be purchasing right now. And there's lots of cheap sunscreens you can get at the drugstore that have all kinds of harmful ingredients. And I bet if you've got a sunscreen in your line, it's probably a better choice. So you could go live and just tell people, hey, the sun's up, summer's out, it's summertime, people are outside. I just want to encourage all of you, be sure you wear a good sunscreen, and here's why, and help them see why they want to use sunscreen. Maybe you can share some statistics about skin cancer. That tends to get people pretty motivated to make some changes. Or you can remind people like, if you don't put sunscreen on, you're more likely to develop wrinkles and brown spots. You might even be able to share some stats or ideas around that. But you really want to encourage people to use the idea of the product, right? Use the product, not necessarily promote your product, but get them excited about using sunscreen. And then same thing, you could say, if you're going to go choose a sunscreen, be careful. Don't buy sunscreens that have these things in them because they're toxic, they're dangerous. You probably know more about your sunscreen than I do. And you can encourage them, look for sunscreens instead that have these natural ingredients or that have this kind of protection, and end your video by saying, hey, and I hope you found this helpful. And if I can be of assistance in recommending some sunscreens, I've done a lot of research. I'd be happy to share, recommend the few that I found that I really love. And more than anything, just be safe. Make sure you wear sunscreen this summer and keep yourself and your family protected, right? So again, just a very quick sort of summary of what you could do in a 3 to 5 minute video that would get seen by lots of people. If you do your live videos effectively, they won't only be shown to your friends or your contacts, they can be shown to new people as well. So you can actually get seen by a lot of new prospects on Facebook if you're strategic. And at the end, people often will, in a similar way, think, wow, that was really helpful. I wonder what sunscreen she does use. And if you encourage them to comment or to reach out to you, many of them will. And then you've got a chance to kind of behind the scenes talk more directly about your product. And because you didn't create a salesy ad, people appreciate your elegant approach, and you can still make sales based on that. So key points, people get value from your videos when you do it this way. There's no big sales pitch. They like you, they trust you, they appreciate you because you're sharing really helpful information. They'll likely watch more of your videos, and many of them will reach out and ask you for recommendations, or they'll remember that you know a lot about that topic, and maybe later on they'll come back and ask you for more tips and ideas too. So how's that sitting? Does that make sense? I know that was a very quick kind of overview, but does that, at least in a concept, make sense? Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Sharon. I was glad that was helpful. So good. Thank you. Thank you, Carla. I know that fits in a lot with what you do, Carla. All right, so here's the bottom line, and there's so much more that I want to share with you on this topic. And if you join us in the Academy, you will definitely get a lot of support on live video. It's my one passion topic that I love to share in addition to magic words. But if you start doing one live video a week, I promise you'll notice a change in your engagement score. You'll see more comments and likes and shares on your other posts. You'll likely start to be seen by people you don't know, and you'll find you have more friend requests in your on your profile as a result. And there just aren't that many people doing lives yet. I mean, it's certainly more popular than it was a year or two ago, but truly most people in your company and probably most of your competitors and other companies are not doing live video. So now is the time. It really is to hop in and just get started with this. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, it's better if you're not. These videos work really well when you're just authentic and you just do your best to deliver value. That's why people love to watch you. All right, well, I know that was quick and we've got a couple of things left. Just real quick, of all the things we covered, I know we did this last time, but I'm just curious to hear from you. What is one thing you definitely want to remember and put into use after tonight's webinar? Because there's a lot in here, I know, but if you just take away one idea and you actually go test it out or commit to learning more about it, right? I promise you guys, you're going to notice a change. Facebook Live at least once a week. Brilliant. Okay. The value of live videos, Tony, I'm glad that worked. Great, great. And again, I wish, well, we will do more like with Amy's Party with a Purpose. Boy, there is just so much opportunity to do those lives within that group, Amy. And I could see you talking about the charity. You can maybe share success stories of people who've been helped through the charity and encourage people to buy and encourage people to share, videos with other people. I mean, there's just a lot you could do. It'd be really incredible. Awesome. Margaret saying I'm sold on Facebook Live. Sharon loves Party with a Purpose. If you have questions, we'll come back to. Brilliant, brilliant. All right, well, real quick, I just want to share these stats because again, live video is intimidating, but if you really commit to using live video and just getting better at Facebook in general, I mean, these are just quick examples of some of the students who use this. Suzanne signed up 2 business partners, had 2 ladies interested, made lots of sales that week. Jean Timmons, it really grew her network by doing live video. Look at that, 1,900 Facebook contacts, had her a 35% increase in sales just in June of last year. That was pretty exciting. Lee Bartram from New Zealand. June has been an amazing month, my biggest month in sales across my business all year. That was really impressive. She's doing great with live videos now. Diane Giese, 5 new customers in the last week, grew her network really quickly. She had about, an increase of 1,000 people since she had joined the Academy in a few months, just by using Facebook and Facebook Live. It was really, really compelling stuff. So same thing, right? Imagine if, you all commit to using virtual parties and doing more with Facebook and using some of the content ideas that we created and shared with you last week and, add live video to that. Like social media is just the key. And, if you do this effectively, it's not uncommon that you could easily bring on 10 new customers a month, 4 to 6 new team members a month. I mean, wherever you're at in your business right now, just start extrapolating on that and imagine where you could be in 90 days or 6 months from now, right? Every week you work in social media, it actually compounds. So the results you start seeing in the first 30 days, first 60 days, first 90 days, in 6 months or 12 months, it's like an avalanche of opportunity. That's why we're so excited to share this with you all. So one last question for you. If we could do that, if we could help you master Party with a Purpose, Facebook content, Facebook Live video, and we promise this would work for your budget. This is like insanely affordable. I'm just curious how many of you would be interested to learn more. Would you guys like to jump in and do a little more work with us on this topic? Because we would be so thrilled to share this with you. And that's really what the Business Academy is all about. You've probably heard this talk about this a little bit, but this amazing opportunity is over Friday. So we just want to take a minute to make sure you understand exactly what's involved here. So this is an online school. You can plug in from anywhere in the world. We've had students here from Sweden and South Africa and the Philippines and Nepal, like wherever you are in the world, it's perfect for you because you can plug in any day, anytime. It's mostly a virtual school with also some live events, and it just makes it super convenient. This is a real quick screenshot of kind of what you see when you first log into the website. But really everything we do in there comes back to those three things we talked about before: leads, language, and leverage. So the first thing we'll do with you is help you get super clear on who your perfect prospects are. Who are the people that are most likely going to say yes to you and your product, so that when you're talking to people, you know, you're already talking to the people that are most likely going to say yes. I mean, just that alone just changes the whole game. And you're going to feel so much more excited to reach out to people when you're hearing yes more often. Another big piece of that, as we talked about in the second webinar, is just making sure that when you are describing your products or your business, you're using that benefit-driven language. Magic words can make an instant difference in your sales, I promise you. And like I said, we've taught this to students and noticed, like, within a month, people's sales rather have gone up like 45, 60%. The recruiting results have jumped. And most important, it's just a very comfortable, authentic way to talk to people. So, you know, imagine if you could be talking to people who previously wouldn't have taken you seriously, maybe would have said no to your product, but now they say yes because they get it. Or maybe approach family members or people at work or people that you would love to have in your team, people who would previously have said no to you, but now they say yes because they get it. They see the value that they couldn't see before. That's a huge piece of what we'll share with you in the Academy. And then if you are excited about the leverage piece, like Facebook, Instagram, social media, that's a lot of what we're going to cover. And trust me, you could not have a better group of women than these mentors to learn social media strategies. These women have crushed it on social media. They've got amazing ideas to share with you. And if you want to, you know, build a team anywhere in the world, make a lot more money in less time, social media is really the key to all of that. So if you are excited to join us, we'd love to work with you. We've worked really hard to make this absolutely affordable to anybody. And so here's what we put together. If you do join us through the summer, this is how it rolls out. You will get content from us every single week. Let me get my little thing working here. There we go. Every week you get another lesson. And so we endeavor to make this really simple. We'll teach you one awesome piece of content, and then we'll help you put it into action. And we know if you do that, you're going to see change really quickly. In addition to that, we have this amazing community. We have women and some men from, gosh, I've lost count of how many companies now, 36 countries, I think, last time I looked, and, you know, all over the world, that are just the most incredible community. So if you've ever felt lonely, or if you ever felt like you needed a little encouragement and support in your business, you will definitely find it in this community. They are just awesome. And then we also have coaching available. So you'll be able to plug into live calls with us. You'll be able to get your questions answered. We'll share additional tips with you. So this isn't just a do it all on your own kind of program. There's lots of opportunity for you to get coaching and support. And then we are going to do challenges. Like, I can't wait to do the Facebook Live challenge. If you will join us in this challenge for 30 days, I promise you will leave a fan of Facebook Live and your business will be forever changed. So to make this super affordable, the tuition is only $79 a month. So we don't charge a lot of money up front, and we want to make this a super affordable monthly fee. And there's no contract. So if you want to join us for 3 months or for 6 months, take a break. It's totally flexible. It's totally up to you. And we do that because we really do want people to stay around. Like, I've noticed when I first launched the Academy, the students that stayed in 3 to 6 months really started to see the results change. And so we wanted to make this kind of pricing affordable for people to do month after month after month. We're not charging you hundreds of dollars in the front end or thousands